Hello everyone and welcome to Season 5, Episode 33 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. I'm your host Travis McNeil, and today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches in NXT history with match number 18 on our list, which is a 4-team ladder match for the vacant NXT Tag Team Championships between the Undisputed Era team of Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, the Street Profits of Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, the team of Oney, Lorcan and Danny Burch, and the Forgotten Sons of Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler from the NXT TakeOver 25 event held on June the 1st of 2019. This match, I feel like, is a real hidden gem. It, was well liked and well received at the time, but I really feel it holds up so much better than a lot of ladder matches over the recent years do. And the reason for that is it feels very different. We are so oversaturated with ladder matches. We get multiple Money in the Bank ladder matches each year, and it's, NXT will do ladder matches for War Games advantages, and we get so many of them that it's hard for one to really stand out. And I think, we've maybe gotten to a point with big spots and stuff like that where it becomes, really, really hard for these matches, especially in the WWE environment, to constantly outdo themselves. And, we're at a point where we see a lot of repeat spots and things like that. This match, though, kind of flips the script a little bit on a traditional WWE ladder match because it's all about the brutality and it weaves this story into it. And there's really no spots in this match that are these big, elaborate, free falls off the ladder, these contrived setups. It's basically 8 guys, hitting each other with ladders and using them in a brutal fashion. But it also has this wonderful little story to it. So the tag titles were vacated. The War Raiders had kind of, run through the NXT roster, had been called up to the main roster, never lost the belts, surrendered them, for new champions to be crowned in this match. And, I've talked about this a little bit before in these videos, but, there's a hierarchy in wrestling of, you have your main eventers and your upper mid-carders and your mid-carders and your lower mid-carders and your, your jobbers. And that's something that I don't think, it needs to be hidden, right? You can have wrestlers that are, put out there and are perceived as being a better wrestler or, a better superstar, in the WWE environment than others. And that's okay because sometimes that allows you to create these really fun stories and it allows you to, over time elevate these lower card wrestlers to, these main event statuses. And that's something that the WWE often struggles with. But that's a story that they use in this match where, in the early goings, the Undisputed Era, O'Reilly and Fish, they're the most experienced tag team, and for all intents and purposes, they are the best tag team in this match. They should win this match, and they should win the titles. But the problem is, this isn't a normal tag team match. This is a ladder match. It's something that, they're not as experienced in, and that, they don't have to win a fall. Anybody can climb up that ladder and grab the belt. And it's a story very similar to the one that was used in the Jeff Hardy and Undertaker ladder match, famously on Raw in 2002, where you have this match where, Jeff Hardy, to most people, has, no chance in hell of winning the Undisputed title at the time. But because it's a ladder match, this is his shot, this is his opportunity. And that's really what they establish here. At the start, the Undisputed Era, they take out each of the other 3 teams and they kind of just decimate them. They get, a little bit of an exchange with, Oney, Lorcan and Danny Burch, who, try to bring the fight to them, but ultimately they win out. But then they start to make the mistake, and the first mistake they make is one of the, oldest kind of ladder match tropes there is. They go out to the floor, they grab the ladder because they know they need it to win, and they prop it up onto the ring apron. Over the years, how many baseball slides have we seen into the ladder? They do a fun little twist on it where Wesley Blake just hits like a crazy tope into the ladder that's just completely brutal. And it starts this theme throughout this match of poor Kyle O'Reilly just getting brutalized, sometimes intentionally, sometimes not, throughout this match. He has an incredible performance here. We get, this kind of nice dive from Angelo Dawkins, which is a little unexpected. He's a bigger member of the Street Profits. You don't really expect him to do that, but he dives onto the pile on the floor. The Undisputed Era end up getting the ladder in the ring, and they both get pushed off. They take gnarly bumps. And again, another bit of a mistake where both of them try to climb up the same ladder. Well, that's just foolish because you're setting yourself up that if a person pushes over one ladder, you're both going to get taken out. So again, it's, this story here that this team that is such a high tag team in-ring IQ, really don't know how to utilize it in a ladder match. It becomes book smarts versus street smarts, basically. And it's a really cool story. The Forgotten Sons at one point, they have like the ladders around their heads, like, very like Terry Funk style with the whirly bird, and they're knocking guys down. They eat double German suplexes from Oney, Lorcan, and Danny Burch, which was awesome. As they're coming over on the German, though, they grab the ladder and kind of throw it up, right? So they're not having their neck folded over the ladder, like you would see, Danny Havoc or somebody do on the Indies. But as they throw this ladder back, it nails poor Kyle O'Reilly, who's just trying to rest. Again, continuing that theme of him getting hurt. The Street Profits, they get a nice little run. They hit a big spine buster from Dawkins, huge frog splash from Montez Ford. That's kind of, their finishing sequence that they would use. But again, it plays into that story of this is a ladder match. So, they snuck in, they got their opportunity, they hit their move. It could have won them a normal match in the tag team titles, but they're going to have to go above and beyond in this one to capture the gold. They do the old World's Greatest Tag Team spot where, Charlie Haas used to hold the opponent through the ropes and Shelton Benjamin would leapfrog him, but they do that onto the ladder, which was really cool. They go for that again, but it gets cut off, and then Kyle O'Reilly hits just this gnarly move straight out of the Super Dragon playbook, where he hits a back senton onto whoever was lying across the ladder, and at the same time hits a missile drop kick to another opponent that's coming in. But of course, because it's Kyle O'Reilly in this ladder match, he bounces off the ladder, and it's just completely brutal and nutty. We end up having another moment where this time, they're trying to learn from their mistakes, the Red Dragon team are, and, Bobby Fish is climbing up the ladder, and Kyle O'Reilly's trying to stand guard, but he gets powerbombed into Fish, into the ladder crashes on him, it's brutal again. They decide, at this point, they got to get a little crafty and maybe go for the legs of their opponents so they can't climb. That's a strategy that Red Dragon would normally use in their tag matches, so why not try it here? And Kyle gets a knee bar on Steve Cutler through the ladder, and, Bobby Fish is trying to do these leg kicks and stuff, but unfortunately, it ends up leaving them open that Bobby Fish takes the Forgotten Sons tag finisher, which is like a reverse DDT double stomp. But, they hit the double stomp off the ladder. It's really cool. The Forgotten Sons kind of go on this little bit of a run and seem like they maybe have the match in hand. But then we get Stereo Doomsdays, which was really awesome, where Lorcan and Burch hit a Doomsday European uppercut on one of them, and the Street Profits hit a Doomsday Blockbuster on the other, which was really awesome. And then we get the big Kyle O'Reilly tease. So, Kyle, who's been brutalized throughout this match, he finally gets the ladder to himself in the ring, and he's climbing, and he's maybe going to do it. But out comes, I'm going to be honest, I don't even remember, Jackson Riker. I was just saying, I don't remember his WWE name. A Gunner from TNA. Somebody that just for all intents and purposes is someone I couldn't agree with less in the world, as far as, political beliefs and things like that are concerned. Thankfully, he got called out by a lot of the WWE roster with some of the content he had posted on social media. Now he's out of the WWE. So funny how that works, right? But he was teaming up with the Forgotten Sons at this point. He comes out and he gets this big run of just decimating guys. He takes Kyle off the ladder and hits a buckle bomb into a ladder in the corner. He starts choke slamming guys. Montez Ford takes like a wild bump over the top rope to the floor. He rips Angelo Dawkins and tips him off a ladder. Oney Lorcan takes like a sick back body drop into a ladder. And finally Kyle O'Reilly, fires back up and brings the fight to him and, starts hitting him. And it leads to this great moment where this big juggernaut of a man's come in and destroyed everybody to try to help his team get the win. While all 6 of the Forgotten Sons opponents, they all team up on Jackson Riker and they all grab a ladder and kind of like the old Spirit Squad move where they, hold the limb and kind of throw a guy up. They do this with the ladder and they just drop it on Riker over and over and over and over and over again. He ends up getting like thrown off the ring apron and they throw a ladder at him. The awesome spot too where the Red Dragon guys are kind of teasing that they're going to throw a ladder at him, and Montez Ford comes sailing over the top with a big, tope con hilo that he does over the ladder for a really cool visual onto Riker. And then Oney Lorcan follows it up where he ducks under, Red Dragon trying to hit him with the ladder and hits his big, wild, just hurling his body tope con hilo that he does over the ropes onto Riker, essentially, taking Riker out of this match. So it was, again, a really good, shine for that guy, whether he deserves it or not. I'm not going to spend much more time talking about that, but it was this great little kind of reset moment of the match, too, where, you had some fun spots, you got that story in, and now it's, that reset of everybody being on a level playing field, who's going to be the one that gets the win. We end up getting a big four-way ladder fight with the Undisputed Era and Lorcan and Burch. The Street Profits, they tip them all off, or pardon me, not the Street Profits, the Forgotten Sons tip everybody off the ladders. They're kind of coming out of the Riker thing. They were getting a bit of a push at the time. They'd made it to the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic where they lost to Ricochet and Black. So, they climbed the ladder, and it seems like, this is going to be the finish. And then just in an awesome, out of nowhere, exciting, great moment, Angelo Dawkins runs underneath the ladder, spears the one Forgotten Son that's standing guard. Montez Ford springboards from off camera onto the ladder, which was wicked, knocks the other Forgotten Son over, and grabs both belts to win for him and his partner, which was a really great moment. The Street Profits were guys that when they started, you could tell they had a lot of raw potential. Montez Ford is, one of the most untapped, raw potential guys they have on that roster. He's so athletic, he's so charismatic, he's so great. And you know what? I love him in this partnership with Dawkins too, that they managed to elevate each other. But they're guys that had worked so hard. They had a run through Evolve when that was kind of being used as an NXT farm system. They won the tag titles there, and they really, really improved. And it was awesome to see them get this really great moment. But every team came out of this match looking great. The Forgotten Sons, they kind of fizzled out after this. But Steve Cutler, now Steve Macklin in Impact Wrestling, he's having an incredible year already. That dude is just an insanely good professional wrestler. Wesley Blake's now back on the indies. Pro Wrestling Revolver the other night, announced them doing a kind of a reunion with those two. And I'd love to see them stick as a tag team because they had a lot of chemistry. They were good, but, they kind of had that bad gimmick. They had that association with Gunner who nobody really liked, and it didn't do them any justice. So I'd really like to see what they bring to the table, either in Impact or with a good independent run. And this match was a great reminder of, just how talented they were. I love this match, though. It feels different than any other WWE match over the past couple of years. It feels like a fight. It's brutal. It's got a great story, and it's everything, a ladder match should be that we don't necessarily get from them all the time anymore. You can watch this match, of course, on Peacock. If you're outside of the US, it's on the WWE Network. You can subscribe to my channel here on YouTube so that you never miss a video. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling50. And please join me again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50.